Hey everyone, welcome to the Prepared Mind channel. It is Sunday Night Live. This is the zoo, and it has been an absolutely tragic July 4th weekend, holiday, etc. Not for the whole country, just for portions of it. And it's to me, we got our false flag, but we'll be talking about all this and more. What I need from you guys, please, is to share the internet address, whether you're on YouTube, X, Facebook, thepreparedmind.club, subscribestar.com, Rumble, BitChute, Instagram, wherever the heck we're being broadcast now. We are live, and we need to get as many people on here waking up and paying attention. I got a great case of the hiccups too. Anyways, this is your show. We're going to talk about everything and anything from last week, next week, right where we're at. What is going to happen? What is happening, folks? We have some crazy business. And I'm not just pissed. I'm disgusted with Democrats. But let's start with this. This is Sunday Night Live. If you've got something to say, it is your show. Super chat button is right up there. Donations to the show are for the show to keep the lights on, the Spam and tuna fish in the pantry, and anything $50 and bigger as a donation, of course, goes into the scotch and pay for everything and keep the lights on, keep the bills paid, keep the subscriptions paid, so we can stay here. $52.23 super chat from Chin Music right out the gate. Here's to you, Chin. I needed that because I've been waiting for it, folks. Let's get into it. Chin Music has a request. He says, I ask that you ask the channel, everyone here, to go to this Facebook page. And this is the Facebook page, the City of Kerrville, Texas City Hall. Chin asked this, and I'm going to agree with him. It says, ask to go to the Facebook page and make whatever donations possible. This is a mess. Talked to a guy today selling barbecue and cinnamon rolls to give all the proceeds to the victims. He's talking about the victims of the flooding in Kerrville, Texas. So Chin Music says the city of Kerrville is setting up a collection. He says he was this guy who was selling barbecue and cinnamon rolls. He was part of the search party and actually found 2 children who were victims who were killed by this flood. Chin Music says the guy who was raising money by selling barbecue and cinnamon rolls was shaken, hadn't slept all night, and was returning once again to help rescue and search as soon as he was sold out of food. Chin says he's heading up there, and he's going to find out if they still need volunteers. People are really upset and pissed off over this, folks. I've got a bunch of different stories and articles. Anyways, wrong way. City of Kerrville, Texas. I would like to ask that you guys, and you've always been good and generous. I remember when Hurricane Harvey hit Houston, Texas. Right, we raised a lot of cash and donated it. And I'm hoping that we can do something good here. I don't want to be responsible for collecting funds and moving them around. I would just ask that you go to the City of Kerrville, Texas on Facebook, donate what you feel comfortable with to help these people. That town got completely destroyed. And right now, as we speak, Sunday night, 6:05 p.m. Eastern time, which I think is 5:05 Texas time, they're starting to get hit again, and they're being told that more water's coming. This has been awful, folks. Absolutely, just an awful thing that's happening. And I don't, this is what gets me is the Democrats The Democrats are enjoying this. The Democrats are enjoying this. Here is one comment coming from a physician. The physician's name is Dr. Lynn Cinderella. I wonder if that's like Cinderella. It's some kind of a joke. But I got this. This person is a pediatric clinician employed at Bluefish MD in Houston. This person says, may all visitors, children, and non-MAGA voters and pets be safe and dry. Kerr County voted to gut FEMA. They deny climate change. May they get what they voted for. Bless their hearts. In other words, Democrats are cheering for death and destruction. Democrats are hoping people have their lives destroyed, their properties destroyed, their family members killed. And this is a problem all over the internet. Democrats wishing for destruction, folks. Wishing for it. You know, they're celebrating this. They're celebrating that people have been killed. And these people are openly Democrat and openly being scummy. Here's the quote. The people in Texas voted for government services controlled by Donald Trump and Greg Abbott. That is exactly what they're getting. Here's another one. Texas deserves every flood God has spoken, and it hates Texas. Another said while laughing at the dead Christian children. That's who these people are, folks. That's the Democrats. We're going to get into more of them. I want to know what you guys are thinking. I want to know what you have to say about this. I want to know what you've heard. Oh, there's a lot more. There's Elon Musk, right? There's what's going on in Europe. There's corruption everywhere. It is absolutely shocking what is going on in the world. And this is barely started. When I say there's going to be shit hitting the fan, this is just beginning. In my opinion, we are inching closer and closer to outright partisan war over political beliefs. That's why I call it a partisan war. This isn't a revolution. This isn't a civil war. It is going to be a partisan war. In Texas, not in Kerrville, in Texas, a police officer was shot in an ambush attack by an armed group. You can guess their politics because it was, quote, during a protest-related incident. And it was done, this protest, an ambush protest and shooting of a cop, right, was outside of an Immigrations and Customs Enforcement detention center. That's right. The Prairie Land Detention Center had a cop shot by guess who? Oh, you bet. Now, this is my suggestion for police. You need to choose a philosophical and political position that is consistent with law and order and the American people. And that's not the Democrats, because they want to defund, they want to abuse, and they want to murder cops. Yet police still side with the Democrats. How can you be a Democrat and a policeman and look at the people that want to defund you, abuse you, and murder you? Sides are being chosen right now, folks. And I have said, and that is why I have, right? That's why I put up this. They are. They're arrogant, godless, evil, demonic, despicable, and fucking disgusting. And I'm sick and tired of them. They are awful human beings. Now, I've known Democrats, probably old blue dog, whatever you want to call them. They seem nice, but every last one of them at one point has shown me that they want to commit horrifying acts. We are inching closer and closer to outright partisan war over political beliefs in this country. Now, Chin Music, I want to thank you for the super chat donation. And again, I would like everyone, if possible, to go to the city of Kerrville, Texas, and do what you can to help. There should be and this is on Facebook. I don't know of any other way to do it other than Facebook, but that's what the suggestion was coming from Chin Music. Now, we've got another super chat from Darcy T, who is also in Texas. Now, both Darcy T and Chin Music are close to San Antonio. This is what Darcy T says. And I want to thank her for the $50 super chat donation through PayPal. She says, I think the flood, what? Nope, that was my comment in response to her. She says, good evening, John. Here are my comments for the zoo. I hope everyone had a chance to celebrate Independence Day with their family and friends. I think we were all expecting something big to occur over the holiday, like a false flag. But let's not let our guard down. Head on a swivel at all time. Prayers up for the families who lost loved ones in the recent flooding through the Hill Country. Hill Country is how they discuss the area where the flooding was at. We've had rain all over the state of Texas for weeks now. And she writes, which I do not believe was naturally occurring. So it doesn't surprise me that a huge flood just happened out of nowhere. She says, bottoms up. Oh, yes. Bottoms up. $50 super chat. I get another medicinal scotch, a single malt, 15-year Glenlivet will do me some good medicinally. I'm very, very angry at what's happened, and I want to send out prayers and hopes for everyone in Texas and indeed the whole country, from North Carolina to Hawaii to Northern California, which is now burning again. And the governor of California is blaming Trump, and the Democrats everywhere are blaming Trump. Bottoms up is right. So my response to Darcy saying, we were all expecting something big to occur over the holiday, like a false flag. I think the flood was the false flag. And I think the effort was to show Trump and others who are in the know that they can attack anywhere they want and destroy at will using the weather. Almost like God with the rain in the Bible for 40 days and the great flood that destroys entire geographic regions. I think now we are in that place. We're in that room. I think we've discovered and learned that a lot of things in the Bible are within our reach technologically. They can control and steer the weather, and they're now proving it. And I think that the fact that it's now raining again in Kerrville, I think it's raining again to show that it wasn't an accident. We can not only increase rain, but we can direct rain, intensify rain, and fuck people up. Right? What else did we see in the Bible? Sodom and Gomorrah. They were destroyed, right? It rained fire out of the sky, turned people into pillars of ash and salt. Done, right? All of these incredible ability to destroy with, how about this? Plagues. Yeah, it's called germ warfare. Being covered in swarms of frogs and locusts, right? What are they doing? They're introducing swarms of flies, mosquitoes, and other pestilence and pests at will upon us, the people. They want to turn river into a river of blood. They can do that. Just they can fuck rivers up. They can fuck up the ocean. Right? Am I saying that these people are God? No, but they're certainly doing things that make other people go, how did this happen? This is the false flag, is to show the world that they can do whatever the hell they want and no one's responsible. No one all. I'm sorry. Darcy T corrected me and said she's not near San Antonio. She's near Houston. I didn't want to give it away too much, Darcy. She's in that, she's in southern Texas. In any event, I'm going to take that last thought about weather control and the four horsemen and famine, plague, pestilence, everything. Take it out of the realm of the supernatural because the government knows about it. Big Marge, Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene, has introduced a bill to ban weather modification and the chemicals associated to it. Geoengineering is what it's called nationally. Now, here in the state of Florida, they've already done that. They've done it. We have clear skies now for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks. But what did they do? They created a hurricane and steered it right towards Asheville, North Carolina, up in the mountains, and wrecked an entire area with so much water. And they just started kicking people out of their homes and buying homes, right? Buying property. Well, it turns out there's a lithium deposit there. Same with the flooded area near Kerrville. Resources are freed up when people are pushed out of the way. Right? In Maui, they burn Lahaina, one of the most beautiful areas on Maui. They just burn it to the fucking ground, to a crisp. People died. The corruption's everywhere. And guess what? People like Oprah Winfrey show up and start buying things up. Unfucking believable. Literally unbelievable, these people. You can't cut down trees in an old growth forest. They killed all logging industry in California. Now they just come through, they're burning all the forests. And of course, blaming Trump. So we know they can steer hurricanes, I believe. Fuck, they created a hurricane over by Yucatan, Mexico, where hurricanes don't come from. Hurricanes come from over by Africa, blow across the Atlantic, get supercharged when they hit the Caribbean, and then smash us. They don't start in Mexico and come east. Hurricanes in Mexico start on the Pacific side and head towards Hawaii. But this is what we're getting, folks. All of a sudden, hurricanes are created in Mexico. Not a tropical depression. Not some kind of a humidity, just a fucking rainstorm. A hurricane that starts out at level 4, level 5, and comes right at and hits exactly where they first said. It first showed up, it goes, well, this looks like it's going to hit Tampa. And it fucking hits Tampa 4 days later. Right? Yeah, they're controlling the weather, folks. Floods, hurricanes, heat waves, droughts, fires, and freezing. Right? Why is this a debate anymore? Right? We know that these sick fuckers are killing, destroying, and stealing property and resources from we the people. I say it's worse than a crime. It's evil and it's insane. And there's companies that do it. There's pilots that spray this shit in the air. There's people that fire off this electronic shit into the clouds to steer it. They know exactly what they're fucking doing, and they're intentionally doing it. Redneck Roughneck says August Dorico owns the company Rainmaker, and he shows the map of Texas where they have been performing cloud seeding. On top of this, people had tarps out, and the water that was falling had a blue tint to it. Now, is this bullshit? It could be. Is it evidence? It could be. I don't know for sure. But they had puddles of water with a blue tint in it as if they had chemicals and materials sprayed into the clouds. And of course, it fell with the rain. Cloud seeding is one thing. They've been seeding clouds since I was a fucking kid, 50 years ago. But and I thank you, Redneck Roughneck, but it's worse than just cloud seeding. They are putting some incredible chemicals up there. The geoengineering is spraying shit in the sky to obscure the sun, to cool the planet, to heat the planet. Who knows what they're doing? They're dropping chemicals, metals, all kinds of shit on us. And they're getting away with it. That guy that was just up here on the screen that Redneck Roughneck cited, that's just one company. I bet there's a fucking dozen of them. I wouldn't be surprised if sections of the military weren't involved in this. That DARPA, right? Government research programs. We are at war against evil. And most people don't even know it. They're just trying to live their lives. They're just trying to pay their bills. They're just trying to get along and just make it, right? It's crazy. It's really, really pissing me off. All right, let's see what you guys want to talk about. Oh, man. Trucker Hershey says, someone pointed out that camp in Texas is where the elites send their kids and grandkids back since LBJ, Lyndon Baines Johnson. He's the president that was the vice president that had something to do with JFK getting shot through the fucking head. Sending a message? I don't know. It's just another piece of the mystery, Trucker, are they sending a message to the elites? Like, we own you. You're just the elites, but we are the real power. And who's the real power? It's always the money. And if anyone was worshiping or praising or thinking that you have to be brilliant to be super rich, I think that's absolutely incorrect. I don't know. I guess you can be brilliant and insane. Like every superhero movie where you've got a Lex Luthor type, right? Some evil genius, a Dr. Evil. It doesn't matter how much money they have or how brilliant they are. Evil is fucking evil. And these people are showing us how evil they are. Is this a message to Trump to take out Kerrville, Texas? Right? Once again, I would like people to go to the city of Kerrville, Texas, and see if they can help out those people there on Facebook. And also, please, at the moment, share the internet address, share it, share the video. There's a share button down below, I'm sure also. Thumbs up, of course. Thumbs up is the best way. It's really the only way to make YouTube help us spread the word on YouTube and social media, is the whole heart and thumbs up shit. Otherwise, no one gives a shit. They're too busy, I don't know, doing whatever the fuck they're doing. Okay, man, let's, do we got any super chats out there? And we do. Dan the Man Erickson with a $2 super chat donation. And he says, what happened to the 4th of July Friday show? Well, I ended up doing a 4th of July Thursday show, Mr. Dan. I read the Declaration of Independence, and that's what happened. Right now, I don't have any other justification for not doing the Friday show. I have had my ass kicked. I am fucking exhausted. I'm tired. I'm fucking sick. I got fucking sunburned the shit out of me. Not making excuses, just like I needed the 4th of July to try and recover, and it ended up having to go to work anyways. It's just been rough, and I don't want to make this about me. I want this to be about America. I want freedom. I want independence, right? That's what we fought the 4th of July for, was independence. It wasn't for guns. It wasn't for fireworks. It wasn't for really cheap beer, right? The 4th of July was about independence from outside control, right? The Declaration of Independence talks about all the forms of control that were used, all the forms of tyranny that were used, and we wanted independence from that. And I really appreciate the question, by the way. What happened to it? Right? The show ended up being Thursday because I needed a break. But Right now, we are not independent anymore. We're independent of the King of England. We're independent of England, but we're not independent of the banking system. We're not independent of being controlled by foreign nations, England, Israel, the European Union. We're not independent of the World Economic Forum. We're not independent of people like George Soros and Jeff Bezos and Bill Gates. These people, and I just named them all, or named a good percentage of them, are absolutely responsible, in my opinion, for the weather modification, and they're showing us who is God. They are pretending to be the gods. They want to inject you with shit that changes your DNA. They want to reduce your lifespan. They want you to rely on them. Right? They want to give you the Jim Jones juice to try and kill us and see what we can live through. They're experimenting on us right now as if we're lab rats and they're gods. Unbelievable. Thank you, Dan, very much for the great super chat. I did, like I said, I had to turn Thursday into the 4th of July show, and it's just been a hellish weekend. I knew a false flag was coming. I just didn't think that they would do this. And I'm really amazed and thrilled that they have found some people that survived that. Three girls / young women have survived. 3 of them found in trees. 2 of them were up like 27 feet. Another one was just a few feet above the water. I think they found her while the floods were happening. And the floods are going to happen again if they keep this rain shit up. Artificial intelligence has been asked, is this normal? Well, no, it's not fucking normal. You don't need artificial intelligence for that. If it was normal, if this happened frequently, who the hell would build houses and RV parks and camping sites in a flood zone where water can come rushing down? And that water was flowing quickly, folks. That was, having lived in the Sierra Nevadas, where we have the American River, the Cosumnes River, right, the McCallum River. We got some serious freaking rivers with whitewater rafting and shit. That water was moving very quickly. And it rose over 20 feet. 20 feet! Unbelievable amount of water just rushing down. It was if, let me say this, it was if they opened the floodgates on a reservoir and just let loose to exacerbate it even more. All right, Mr. Ooman, let's do some super chats, see what you guys are talking about out there. And it's Boomer21 with a $20 super chat. And he says, we also have to deal with a 35% weaker magnetosphere caused by the ongoing magnetic pole excursion. This causes the jet streams to go off course, producing atmospheric rivers. Yes, so for a while there, the magnetic North Pole was moving down into Canada, I think over into the Hudson Bay area. And now it's moving back up and over. And my guess is that it wanders constantly, frequently, all the time. Right? There's the true North Pole, which has the Polaris, the North Star above it. And then there's magnetic North. And I don't know what influences that. They say it's the iron core of the planet spinning, whatever. But yeah, we have all kinds of problems going on in the world, and it's affecting the weather. Now, could it be that the magnetosphere is being influenced by HAARP and other programs? I don't know. Right? They're not telling us because they want to keep it a secret. Right? How much more powerful is a weapon if the people it's influencing and affecting don't know it's a weapon, don't understand the weapon, can't protect themselves from the weapon? You see, it keeps people confused, keeps them in awe. And I don't like it because they're being dishonest. They're scum. Kind of like people who fly drones and kill people with them. They're not engaged in the war. They're not risking their lives. They're sitting back and killing people. That's really all they're doing. Okay, Boomer, thank you very, very much. Mr. Uman, who's up next on the Prepared Mind channel? We've got bump. Nancy Kaag checking in with a $20 super chat. She says, to the 4th of July weekend and prayers for the people in Texas. I hate to say it, but this is only the beginning of what is coming for us. I'm going to agree with that. We've got a lot more coming on a lot of different levels in a lot of different places, Nancy. And I pray that you and everyone, from Boomer up in Canada to you in North America, to all of our friends and brothers across the oceans, down in Australia and up in England and Europe, it's going to get stupider. It's going to get crazier. In fact, the lunatic left are getting so bad that they're attacking themselves in an effort to become more evil. In fact, the New York Times, folks, the rag of record, the New York Times, it's not fit for toilet paper, but they are being attacked by leftist Democrat socialists because they published a story about the New York City mayor candidate Mamdani, who is a fraudulent lying sack of shit because he claimed he was black on a Columbia University application. He lied about his race. The guy is clearly not black. He is a perfect anti-American Muslim communist sack of shit. And he's so bad that even the New York Times couldn't stomach his lies. But, folks, apparently the liberal left has outrun the New York Times, right? They're anti-American Democrat scum. They're gonna support Mamdani and attack the New York Times, right? And it's nothing but toilet paper with words printed on it, and that's not good enough, right? That's not good enough. That's how bad these people are. They're going to come at us in every city they can. Not just in North America, everywhere. Once again, right? Floods, droughts, heat waves, freezing, hurricanes, tornadoes. They're controlling the weather. And it's not just the weather that's been weaponized, folks. It's everything. I mean, they're attacking themselves. They're attacking each other. They're attacking you and I. Get this. The EU, the European Union, guess what they're up to? Right? They're going to sanction Israel next week. Now, I'm not reporting this because I'm supporting Israel. I'm reporting this to show everyone how crazy these left-wing socialist fucks are. The European Union, which has invited in millions and millions of third world scum into their own countries, and they're allowing their countries, their laws to be ignored. They're allowing their women to be raped. They're allowing their men to be murdered, their children to be murdered, their customs and traditions to be shit on by these people. So the European Union is going to sanction Israel over the Gaza war. Okay, that's fine. Now the European Union should sanction itself, should they not? Well, for what, John? Well, for supporting the Ukraine war that has killed over 1 million Ukrainian citizens who didn't want to go die, but were forced to go die and face the Russian war machine that ground them up and spit them out. But the European Union's fine with that and fine with destroying their own countries. But now they want to attack Israel, well, with sanctions anyways. It's as if the whole world has gone mad. Now, I don't think I'm insane because I can still build houses and I use common sense and I don't commit crimes. I don't hurt people. All I do is talk about what's going on in the world and make housing for people. And I'm pretty sure you guys aren't insane because you're here with me every week. We talk, whether it's Redneck Roughneck or Boomer, whether it's Big Dan or Nancy, Whether it's Uman, Jolene, Vaughn, Kaz, or Dr. John or Dr. Tim, or the other John or the other John or the other John, or Bonnie Blue or or Robin, it doesn't matter, right? We're all here and we're not losing our fucking minds. But when we look and listen to government, they are losing their minds. They want to sanction Israel for doing the same thing they've done. They want to punish each other in Europe for not doing, well, Poland and I think Romania and Slovakia. They want to punish them for not destroying their own countries. Did you know that? Because they're not inviting in millions of scum to rape their women, murder their men, and abuse their children. Because they won't do that. They want to sanction and hurt European countries. They're fucking retarded. They really are. These politicians know exactly what they're doing, folks. Nancy, thank you so very much. Folks, one more time, and this is Chin Music's request because he is very close to Kerrville, and Darcy T is just around the corner near Houston. He asked that you go to the city of Kerrville, Texas, their Facebook page, to see what you can do to help them. That's what their Facebook page looks like. Don't fall for a fake, a trick, or a scam or anything else. You know, giving to charity has always been difficult because if you do Red Cross, I think only 9% of the money ever makes it to people who are victims. The rest goes to administration of Red Cross. You give money to the Clinton Foundation, and I think 0.00001% goes. Like, how many billions did they collect for Haiti? And instead, Chelsea Clinton gets, 50, 60, 70, 80 million dollars of it? And who knows how much else went elsewhere? Anyways, these politicians are scum. I don't trust them. And I know that I put this thing up and it says City of Kerrville. Right? It says City of Kerrville, which means there's politicians there. But at least at the local level, hopefully the people of Kerrville can keep their city and spend the money where it needs to be spent. It's awful, folks. It's absolutely awful that these Democrats, politicians, Democrats that live next to you and me, like I've said, where I live, 6 out of 10 people are Republicans and love freedom. 4 out of 10 people hate this fucking country. And they're Democrats. And they surround all of us and they're everywhere. And they're laughing, they're cheering, and they love the fact that children, Christian children, and others are dying and have died because of these floods. The floods in North Carolina, the floods in Texas, like the fires in California, the fires in Maui. They think it's just fucking great. And they laugh about it. They cheer it. These are the same people that live around all of us. And ask them, go ahead. And they'll lie to you and say, oh yeah, that's terrible. Well, who the fuck are the Democrats that are cheering from it then? Cheering for it. It's the same Democrats. It's just they're doing it online. They're doing it online. Why? Because they can get away with it online. Because they're anonymous mostly. But that's how they think, right? Let me tell you about Democrats, folks. In Texas, a different county. This is Frio County, Texas. There was a vote harvesting scandal. Guess what? Democrats, 15 of them. 15 Democrats. Not just regular people, folks. Democrat government officials, a judge, a former Democrat candidate for office, 2 former mayors, 15 bona fide, solid Democrats vote harvesting. Democrats, Demorats, rhinos, all of these people, they need the noose for their crimes because that's the only way to stop it. Pam Bondi, no major arrests. No serious, powerful arrests. You want the crimes to stop, you've got to arrest the people and throw them in fucking prison. Arrest them for their crimes. Texas needs justice for what is being done there, folks. not just for the weather control, but also for the Sharia-loving politicians in Texas, which includes Governor Abbott, who's giving money and special privileges to Muslim communities that are setting themselves up, that want Sharia law, which means no constitution, no Texas constitution. It means a bunch of religious murdering goat fuckers can prosecute you and punish you and torture you. But they have honor killings, throwing acid in people's faces, beating them with sticks, stoning people to death. That's Sharia law. No more dogs, no more bacon, no more anything, no music. They're going around destroying Christian churches, right? This shit needs to be stopped, and politicians are allowing it. Weather control, Sharia law, vote fraud, Democrats, and rhino Republicans, folks, giving the country away. If I sound like I'm a little bit pissed, it's because I am a little bit pissed off at what's going on. I haven't lost my mind. I haven't committed any crimes. Mr. Uman, who's up next on the Prepared Mind channel? We've got Dan the Man Erickson with a $10 super chat. Now, Big Dan is up in the Northwest. And I pray, folks, I pray that none of us, right, are unprepared. That in the event of an emergency, you know how to protect yourselves. Anyways, Dan says, assimilation of Sharia law Muslims and Western civilization is not possible. I agree 100%. When there's a religion that says kill anyone who's not part of that religion, you no longer have freedom of speech, freedom of thought, freedom of religion. You now belong to them if their law is sanctioned. And Sharia law Muslims, those who want that, that's exactly what they're promoting. Oh, we can just all get along. We can assimilate and live together. We can coexist. No, you can't. They've demonstrated it. They prove it. They even say it in all of their videos. You get these imams up there talking about how, well, they move in, they repopulate, and most of them are inbred, by the way. That's right, inbred. They create really fucked up human beings. And they want to beat us. They want to play the population game. These people right here. These radical, wacko, low IQ, militant, violent bastards. No. Once they get a decent population size, they go from, we're a minority, to, you're going to do what we say. Now, Dan says, continuing with Dan's comment, the only thing they want is to die trying to rule the world. That's another thing they teach. I listened to a class that was broadcast on social media for Muslim children, telling them Allah needs martyrs and that they will be glorious and in heaven if they kill people and die doing it. They want, and he's absolutely right, they are willing to die trying to take over the world. They are crazy and their religion is flawed. Dan, you're too nice. They are insane and their religion is more than flawed. Right? The religion I have, right, doesn't tell me to go kill people. It doesn't tell me to tolerate evil either. Right? It doesn't tell me to be a second-class citizen. It doesn't tell me I have to give up, bend over, shut my eyes, allow evil to persist. To the contrary. But it doesn't say just go out and kill people because they don't believe like you, John. Right? My religion is about protecting the innocent, increasing knowledge, awareness, spirituality, all these things, right? Things that promote intelligent thought, quality of life. That's my personal credo, belief system. The Muslims, they don't have a personal belief system. They aren't allowed free thought. And the evil that runs the world right now, the bankers, do you think they're going to give these Muslims the world? No, they're not. But they will use them They will use them to destroy European culture, laws, and the people of. They want to breed them out. Same with Canada. Same with America. And, oh, Mexico, you think you're brown? You haven't seen the end of it. All the Latin countries will be overrun. They tried overrunning them with communism, and it has failed. Not 100%, but every time they try it, it eats itself. It eats itself. Don't worry, they will overrun Central and South America and Mexico with Muslims also. And they will destroy them because they are Catholic countries at their heart. The Catholics, the Jesuits, by the way, brought in communism, trying to take over South and Central America. It failed. So now the major power elite are going to bring in Muslims. These people right here, because they can't be controlled. They are just a bunch of wild, rabid dogs. Look at what they do. Look at how they act. Look at the world we're dealing with now. It is fucked up. It really is. I want the world to be a safe, good place, right? But the leftists are absolutely fucking nuts. Anyways, Mr. Dan, thank you, sir, for supporting the channel, supporting freedom, supporting the Constitution, supporting the Second Amendment and the First Amendment. Unbelievable. The Democrats, folks, a great example of one of them, like our neighbors, my neighbors, your neighbors. A great example of them is Rosie O'Donnell. Now, why did I just pick on Rosie? No, she's 63 years old. She looks like she's an unhealthy 80. But she's 63, right? She has let her mental illness destroy her. She's in Ireland right now, and she is blaming the Texas flood on Trump. And she is hinting, insinuating that a revolt is coming, a revolution against Trump, which means a revolution against you and our Constitution, right? What happened to her? She lost her fucking mind. No, she's always been evil. She's always been a terrible person. It's just she won't be quiet about it. She's open about it. And here's the deal, folks. That's what Democrats think. That's how Democrats think. In my opinion, this is what they think and say to each other. Look at all the protests. Look at all the protests. Look at the violence. Who's committing it? Who's committing it? Oh, man, can you hear me now? Okay, yeah, I didn't freeze. You just disappeared. Okay, good deal. Good deal. Okay. Yeah, these are the Democrats. What happened to them? The only reason we don't hear about them and their opinions is because no one gives a fuck. Right? From time to time, like Chin Music or Big Dan or Boomer or Nancy, and I'm picking on them and giving them credit because they've already been super chatted up here. Anyways, yeah, Chin Music and Darcy T, right? We see what they write in social media, and then we share it with you guys. We all share it with each other, back and forth, right? Rosie O'Donnell is no intelligent person. It's just she is or was a celebrity, and she's fun to make fun of, so we all get to hear about it. Right? Every time she opens her mouth, we get to hear about it. That's why we know this is how Democrats think. Right? Trump derangement syndrome. It could be called political derangement syndrome. I think that they have mad cow disease. I think that they have an illness, a sickness. Their brains are rotting from spike protein damage from taking the Jim Jones juice. But get this, she is and thinks what every other Democrat thinks. Some are not quite as bad as her. Some are even worse. But the Democrat Party is a cult of death. Just like the Muslim jihadis are a cult of death. Just like the Antifa communists are a cult of death. Just like the BLM people are a cult of death. Just like the LGBTQ pedophile crowd is a cult of death. They all hate freedom. They all hate normalcy. They all hate the United States of America. And they hate all of us. Every last one of them hate us 100% and wish death upon us. They're laughing because children and Christians and the good people of Texas were killed by this flash flood. They're laughing about it. And you know what? A friend of mine has been watching the videos all weekend and sharing them with me, of course. And she goes, listen, they're speaking Spanish. There's Mexicans all over Texas. I go, well, they are right next to Mexico. And they're just north of where they came across the border. But yeah, the Mexicans are getting drowned in this shit. Where's all the love for the Mexicans from the political left? They don't give a fuck about Mexicans. They only care that they're invading America. They only care that they're getting all of our money, taking up all of our resources, and making our lives miserable and killing people. They don't care about little girls. They want Mexicans killing little girls, boys, big girls. And the Democrats, they want the Mexicans dead too. They're laughing about it as much as they want Christian children killed and Cub Scouts and Girl Scouts and Boy Scouts. It's awful. This is what's going on in this country. That's why I'm saying partisan war is getting closer and closer and closer and closer. I tell you, folks. Thank you for being here with me tonight. It's July 6th, right? Now remember, on July 4th, 1776, the American people said, no more foreign control of our country. We're going to live our lives, our freedom. And what happened after that? Well, as quick as the King of England could get his soldiers on boats and head to America and start killing people, that's what happened. July 4th, here's your false flag, America. We're going to start fucking with you. And they're turning loose everyone they can, folks. I think it's going to get worse. And the Democrat Party is a cult of death. They want what? Floods, fires, droughts. They want Americans beat, stabbed, shot, raped, murdered. They want kids abused, sexualized, and sterilized. They want your health destroyed with Jim Jones juice. They're the cult of death. Just like the Muslim jihadis, just like Antifa, just like BLM, just like the LGBTQ pedophile crowd. They hate us. All right, enough of my shit. Mr. Uman. Becoming Dangerous says Muslim attacks with dates that are important to them that go back to the caliphate. They don't care about American holidays. Oh, no. I don't believe that this attack in Texas was the crazy Muslims. This was the weather control cult, right? Whoever controls the weather, these companies, who knows who's funding them? Is it private businesses? Corporations? Now, I want everyone to understand, I don't hold corporations in high regard because corporations and banks control the government. They control government officials. Let's just say they found a large lithium deposit in and around Kerrville, Texas, and they need the people washed out and gone. How about the people of, was it Asheville or Ashland, North Carolina? Large deposit of natural resources that are very valuable. What do? They push people away. They wanted people out of Paradise, California. They wanted people out of the mountains. First, they killed the logging industry. And then what towns were left that were still alive, that were surviving on tourism and retirement funds, got burned out. The beautiful west coast of Maui, Hawaii, Lahaina, roasted. Right at the same time, it's fucked up. But yeah, Muslim attacks with dates, right? They've got their own dates. It's awful. Anyways, Becoming Dangerous. Thank you very much, Mr. Uman. What are we going to do next? What's the next topic? Boomer is back with another $20 super chat donation. And he says, Had I predicted 30 years ago that the West would be unaffordable with cities burning due to mass third world migration invasion, they would have locked me up. Oh, yeah, no doubt. They would have locked you up. They would have locked you up. Was talking to a friend earlier. I said, you know what? If I told you 10 years ago that they could control the weather, and by the way, I did tell people that 10 years ago. Back in the 90s, I had learned about HARP and how they were using it, using some of the technology that Nikola Tesla had discovered, or rediscovered, if you will, that they're controlling and manipulating and influencing the weather. Now they're combining all of these things. In fact, weather control goes back to the 1950s when the U.S. military, and the documents are real, folks, and they're out there on the internet. The military talked about using weather as a weapon. And now that weapon is for sale to corporations. I just said it. Weather is for sale to corporations. And no cost is too high. Because for a cool few $1 million to the right politicians, you can get whatever destruction you want, whatever land you want cleared, or punish any source of people. Yeah. So, 10 years ago, if I had come out and said this, but now everyone, like I said, I talked to a normal person. They're like, 10 years ago, I'd have thought you're crazy, but now I see the weather and its control, how they can direct hurricanes, how they can seed clouds and make rain 100 times worse. We went from having, rainstorms in California to what they called the Pineapple Express, which happened in the 90s. They started seeing this cloud systems that would just come out of the Pacific and continue for weeks on end. And now we have atmospheric rivers, which were just referred to a few moments ago, where it's not just a little bit of rain, it's a fucking torrential downpour for hours and days, etc. Unbelievable. Yeah. Cities. Yeah. Literally. Yeah. That America, Canada, Europe, that we couldn't afford to live where we want. That cities would burn, that third world migration would destroy us, right? No one would have believed that 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, that this was going to be our fate. Here we are. Look what they've done with technology. Look what they've done with technology. The government, corporations, research facilities, they've been caught. The government has literally been caught falsifying elections, lying. Arizona, Colorado, Nevada, Georgia, North Carolina, Minnesota, Michigan, Wisconsin, lying about their elections, cheating their fucking asses off. The Dominion and other voting machines, they said, are not online. They're online. They're not hackable. They're easily hackable. And then they give out fucking passwords in Colorado to get access to their systems. They cheat. They lie. They steal. This is the Democrat Party. This is the anti-American party. This is the I'll sell my country for a couple of $1 million. And it's not just for the money. It's because they hate this country. They want to see it destroyed. They're such miserable fucking people. Honestly, miserable and evil that they want to see you destroyed and me destroyed and our children and grandchildren destroyed. No longer is this about me. It's not just about me and my kids. And now I have grandchildren involved. Just like you guys. Right now, it's not just protecting myself. It's protecting everyone and everything. Because you can't just protect yourself anymore. You have to protect everyone. And we have to fight all the evil everywhere. You got Dr. Fauci turning loose fucking viruses, turning loose disease weapons. The United States government had 26 bioweapons research labs in Ukraine. Why do we need 26? One is too many. Thank you, Boomer, very much. keep them in a third world fucking corrupt country like Ukraine. Or maybe we're going to call it second world. Yeah, it's no better. Thank you, Mr. Boomer. Man, what do we want to roll across the screen next? What's the next topic? It's Steve Demetrius with a $5 POW super chat donation. And he says, if the Republicans vote out the rhinos, they will not need the moody, impulsive Elon Musk's newfangled political party. Your thoughts, John? Well, how did you know I had thoughts on this? We may as well call, I don't want to call it the American Party. Isn't that what Elon Musk wants to call it? American Party? Uman? Do you know? Yeah. He's saying yes. Well, here, look, I'm going to call it the H-1B Party. Right? That's because that's the rule that these foreign corporation owners and foreign CEOs want. They want to fire Americans and bring in their people from other countries, namely India. India and Pakistan are the biggest abusers of this, right? So Elon Musk, who is a South African, has now launched his American Party. And the treasurer for the American Party is an Indian. At this point, one has to argue, this is my opinion, this is me, folks. One has to argue that Elon Musk has released, there's several things that have happened to him. Because he's brilliant. He's got the Tesla cars and Tesla batteries and his rockets and shit. But one has to argue that one of several things, one or more, has happened. That he's received severe brain damage. Remember the black eye episode? Ever since the black eye episode, for some reason, Elon Musk doesn't seem to be on the same page. And if he didn't get brain damage, maybe Elon Musk is on some massive drug binge. Or maybe he is a cloned replacement. I'm being serious. I mean, does he actually think, does Elon Musk, as brilliant as he is, does he actually think Republicans, Americans, are going to vote for a party that has no respect for American workers, right? Which is the H-1B visa that allows American workers to be replaced with Indian workers. Does Elon Musk starting a party has no respect for the Second Amendment? And Gandhi, who was an Indian, by the way, said he would have rebelled with violence, except they didn't have guns because the British wouldn't let them have guns. Well, America has guns, but Elon Musk doesn't want us to have guns. Does Elon Musk really believe that he can just change whatever he wants? America is not a democracy. It's a republic. And you can't just change the Constitution unless you have a supermajority and the support of the American people behind it. Because if you just start changing shit, you're going to get a fucking revolt real fast with our guns. You ask, Steve, and I'm glad you've been here after all these years and you're still here. You're asking, right? We don't need another political party. We need to get the rhinos out and we need to put in patriots. Now, here's another thing we need. We need accountability and we need a punishment. There needs to be a crime attached to political action that violates our rights. A consequence for violating the Constitution. A consequence for creating laws that violate the Constitution. A serious consequence for any politician at every level when they violate the law, the Constitution, or anything ethical like, well, everything they're doing right now. Now, yeah, that's my thoughts on Elon Musk's American Party. It's not American. It's not being run by Americans. It's not being, no, just no, right? Just all the way around, no, right? But I do believe that the American Party, I think that it would actually draw more Democrats and less Republicans. Okay, you want proof? Here's my proof, Steve. Hang on, man. You asked for it. I'll fucking give it to you. You want proof? I think Elon Musk is actually trying to fuck up Democrats, not Republicans. Because get this, Democrat billionaire Mark Cuban, who is, in my opinion, if not low IQ, retarded, and other sellouts and scumbag politicians like, Anthony Scaramucci, they are interested in joining Elon Musk's America Party. How is that consistent with Republicans? I know a lot of Republicans, a lot of Americans, a lot of constitutionalists are not happy with the big, beautiful bill. But I don't think it means you're going to throw the baby out with the bathwater and shoot yourself in the foot and the nutsack by going and joining a party that wants to replace our population, get rid of the Second Amendment. No. When Mark Cuban and Rhino, Anthony Scaramucci, they want to join the America Party, guess who's going to join it? It is the un-American party. Now, my biggest worry with everything having to do with Elon Musk right now, Steve, is that X, formerly Twitter, will become a no free speech zone just as quickly as Elon Musk made it a free speech platform. I think he'll, right? Easy come, easy go. Right? The Musk giveth, the Musk taketh away. And Elon Musk is looking at some serious defunding. Trump has already hinted maybe the federal government should take their contracts away from Elon Musk. Now, I don't believe in politicizing things to that degree. Right? Elon Musk, if he's going to be cast aside, if he's losing his fucking mind, if he's on drugs, he's been hit one too many times in the head, he's been cloned, whatever, right? He's possessed, he's an alien, whatever. The technology that's there, from the automobiles to the solar to the rockets or whatever else he's working on, do you get rid of that? That's the baby with the bathwater, right? Throw out the baby Musk, but you're going to throw out the bathwater. It's still beneficial. Yeah. My concern is, X, free speech. It helped win the election. We are on X now, as well as YouTube, as well as the preparedmind.club, our flagship website, as well as subscribestar.com, our fundraising website, as well as, BitChute, Instagram, Facebook, everywhere we can. We need free speech. I'm afraid he's going to make it a no free speech zone. But Elon Musk is facing defunding. In fact, a major investment firm, not going to have any names here, is not going to join, right? It's postponing an ETF launch for Tesla. What is an ETF, right? It's an exchange-traded fund. An ETF takes a bunch of companies, puts them in and says, this is the block of companies you should invest in. It can be high tech. It can be mining resources like lithium, copper, silver, cobalt, nickel, you name it, right? It could be an ETF. Tech ETF, well, because of Musk's moodiness, his impulsive behavior, right? And because he started a political party, this investment firm says we're not going to put Tesla in it, right? Right. Money is going to run at this point, I think, from political fighting from now on. Right. The left tried making everything woke, left-wing politics, and it's crushed companies like Budweiser. It's hurting all kinds of shit. Man, my face is itchy from too much sun. Anyways, don't get too much sun. Sun, good, not too much. Anyways, name a woke company that's been hurt. A lot of people won't buy Nike anymore. Fuck Dick's Sporting Goods, right? Everything woke goes broke. Disney, probably one of the most powerful organizations has destroyed itself. In fact, I hear they're going to try remaking the Indiana Jones franchise. I wonder how gay the new Indiana Jones will be, if it'll even be a man. The next James Bond is going to be a black guy. I mean, let's at least be consistent with the story. Really? Unbelievable. Okay. I think money is going to run from political fights, whether it's right wing or left. There's too much risk in it. There's too much propaganda. It's too volatile. Right? If you're running a company, and I tell you what, BlackRock, Vanguard, and some other major investment firms, they are completely political. Completely. I won't put a penny in there if I had it. Right? Why would you do that? Because they're going to make political decisions, not investment decisions. And I think that's what's going on. It's too volatile. It's too risky. And it fails. Boeing, woke, done. Shit company. How many more? I could ask you guys to start naming companies that had woke idiocy and how it's hurt them. Anyways. Fuck. Here we go, folks. Oh, okay. Thank you, Mr. Steve, very much. And I want to do a reminder again. The city of Kerrville in Texas. I would like everyone to go on Facebook. If you use Facebook, etc., help out the people of Kerrville, Texas. They're a small community, and they're just people, folks. And they've been damaged by this, what I consider to be international politics, international technology, international finance. I think it is so much bigger than just a rainstorm and some flooding. I think they're proving a point. I think they're demonstrating their power. I think that was the false flag to show America, oh, you want to have a Declaration of Independence, do you? You bunch of stupid Americans. We have godlike powers now. Famine, pestilence, war. They've got it all. Weather control, nuclear weapons. They've got it all, right? They control everything. They own us all, they say. They think. They want to take away. They've taken away our money, folks. They've taken away our money. Gold and silver, we don't use as money anymore. Oh, you can buy it. You can own it. You can trade it. You can invest in it. But it's not money. Money is now a piece of paper. What do you do with paper? Well, you can use it as wallpaper. You can use it to light fires. You can use it to wipe your ass. It's only as good as someone else's willingness to take it. And they're going to take that from us now. And they want to give us central bank digital currency, CBDCs. Right? Central bank digital currency, CBDCs. They want to know every single fucking transaction you make so they can regulate it, tax it, control it, confiscate it. They don't want us to have money. States like Texas, Florida, Utah, and many others are making gold and silver currency again. They accept it as payment again, which I find interesting, almost ironic in a way. But enough about irony. Enough about irony. Oh, well, I take that back. You want irony? I've got some irony for you guys. By the way, damn it. By the way, getting a little parched here. Speaking of digital currency, another false flag occurred. And I don't think anyone is seeing it as a false flag. Not yet. But on Friday, Bitcoin pulled a fast one. Bitcoin pulled a fast one. Man, you know about this, right? Over $8 billion in Bitcoin woke up. Hasn't been used or traded in 14 years. That means 2011, This is long before I heard of Bitcoin. Someone bought 8,000 or 80,000 Bitcoins for like next to nothing. And that person, or there is a face that they've attached to a name and a face. That those accounts that held all this woke up. Was it hacked using AI? Was it hacked using a supercomputer? Using brute force to break the codes? Was it hacked? Was the guy robbed? But it sold. It sold off. Where'd the money go? Where'd the money come from? Because it really didn't affect the Bitcoin price. You would think $8 billion trading like that would have been done. But the question is, what is Bitcoin? Is it really unhackable, or is there a backdoor code to it? Right? Again, CBDC. Back then, Bitcoin was supposed to be anonymous, tax-free, right? Peer-to-peer. Now, it's not peer-to-peer because even 14 years ago, they know who originally bought it, and it's now been transferred out of his hands. Someone else has it. It's not anonymous. It's not tax-free. Oh, I'm pronouncing shitcoin wrong. Sorry about that. Buttcoin. Yeah. Anyways, they've demonstrated that Bitcoin is not safe. People are hacked all the time. Bitcoins are lost. Bitcoins are traded. Bitcoins are taxed. Shitcoin, right? All of the charting, it shows that Bitcoin is not real. Now, the Satoshi Nakamoto, or is that from Die Hard, Nakamoto Plaza? Anyways, yeah, the so-called creator of that is probably actually the CIA. That it was created to prove out that a digital currency could convince people that it has value, that it can be traded, and it was basically a beta test. And that it's just going to be taken away, right? They can crash it. They can take it away anytime they want. That's kind of an issue with Bitcoin. And now a lot of people are doubting. And the charts, if you understand investment charts, everything shows that it's reached its zenith. It won't go any higher. That basically 112,000 was the ultimate high, and that it's going to start coming down if it doesn't crash even faster. The Chinese and others have said within 5 years, we'll be able to hack any account. So why wouldn't you want gold and silver is my question. You can hack all the computers you want. You won't get to my little piece of silver. Right? In any event, folks, there's a lot of weird shit going on. I think that was part of the false flag also this weekend. Our Independence Day was to show you can't be independent by having Bitcoin. How does someone just all of a sudden wake up and sell off everything at once? Interesting, weird shit going on, folks. All right, enough of my crap. Mr. Uman, who else out there has something to say? Because I want to hear it and talk about the topic. Who's got something? It's Marilyn Myers checking in. Thank you for the email, Marilyn. I appreciate that. She did a $19.99 super chat donation and said in 1962, ooh, that was 1 year before, November of 1962 was 1 year before John F. Kennedy was shot in the head. LBJ was the vice president in 1962, and Marilyn Myers quoted him as saying this, quote, "He who rules the weather rules the world." Interesting. Weather controls food. Murder of innocents are their ideal fodder. You are not alone on this. Thank you, Marilyn. I appreciate the intellectual camaraderie on this. Yeah. Controlling the weather. Weather causes so much, right? Okay, weather does control food. You can let nature work, and it feeds the ground, and food grows, and we harvest the food. It grows grasses, which feeds cows, which creates food for cows, pigs, chickens, geese, turkeys, as well as the vegetables we eat directly. And if you control the weather by flooding or causing drought or overheating or freezing, you control food production. China buying our farmland in America is also something. Why are the politicians allowing that? Why? By the way, we're over 400 freaking people live right now. I want to thank you guys. Keep sharing the internet address. Share, and share everywhere on every platform that you can so people show up and they get the fucking message today. It's not a message of happiness. It's a message of it's hit the fan, and I think it's going to get worse. Anyways, who controls the weather controls food. What are the motivating factors that humans are most prone to? The biggest number one is fear. People are afraid they're not going to get food. They're going to panic. They're going to take unreasonable, emotionally based reactions. Danger, and danger. The other one is greed. Who has greed? Those with money are greedy. Those who don't have money, how can I be motivated by greed? I don't have any significant amounts of money. That silver coin doesn't count for a whole lot. So we are going to be motivated by fear of what the powerful are going to do. And the powerful are motivated by the thought of more wealth, power, and control. Right? The powerful also love to destroy because it gives them more power. It gives them more control. It takes, when they destroy a country like Ukraine, or they destroy a country like South Africa, or they destroy a country, you follow me here, like Afghanistan, Iran, Iraq, Syria. They can go in, Niger. Well, actually, Niger kicked out France and kicked out America. Niger kicked them out, and they're working with Russia and China because they're getting a better deal. But countries can come in after an evil country or system, I should say, banking system, monetary system. They destroy that country. They can come in and buy their land, their resources cheap for pennies on the dollar. So when they kill people, they murder them, they destroy with war or weather warfare, right? That's their ideal fodder, which is Maryland's terminology here. It's the ideal fodder for their cannons, right? Death, destruction, murdering innocent. It's heartbreaking, folks. And I know that good people everywhere, America, Canada, Mexico, Australia, Europe, there's good people everywhere. And they can't do anything. In fact, I talked to people the last few days. What can you do about it? They're like, I can't do anything about this. I can't do anything about it. Right. Local government, we can barely affect at all. You go complain to the mayor or the city council, the county supervisors, you end up getting fucked with by the local constabulary. You start getting picked on in your local businesses. Oh, it's that guy. It's that girl, right? I know people that have been ruined by their church. That's right. Because they had an opinion or they had a thought or they wanted something done. It's just unbelievable, folks. We're not alone, but I got to tell you, we're in big trouble because we can't stop state and national governments, right? We're almost powerless except for your mind and using social media like this to get people to wake up, right? Whether it's red or black pill, I don't give a shit. Wake up, prepared, which means food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, means of self-defense. Wake up, get prepared, wake up others. And at some point, we're going to have one hell of a fight on our hands. The intelligentsia in this country, right? The politicians, the political class, the corporate masters, are they retarded? Or is it just the universities that are proving that they're retarded? Now, we'll get back to universities in a minute. Ooh, man, who's up next on the Prepared Mind channel? We're just about 90 minutes into the show. This is incredible. And Redneck Roughneck says, just in, 2 more little girls from Camp Mystic have been found alive. And that's wonderful news. I think we're up to 5 now. That is amazing. Good. I'm shocked that many have survived this. The 3 I've known about were found in trees. They got swept away in the middle of a night in a fucking raging flood and somehow got a hold of a tree and climbed up it. That is incredible. Absolutely good news. Thank you, Redneck Roughneck. All righty, Mr. Uman, who's next on the Prepared Mind channel? We got Bob Hunter from Scotland checking in with a 5-pound note. And he says, John, can you please share this important video? And it's the final warning by Dr. Mike Yeadon, his interview. It's in 4K Oracle Films. I can't put the link up on the screen, but if this is a YouTube video, man, is it a YouTube video? Were you able to check? We don't know. Type in final warning, Dr. Mike Yeadon interview on YouTube, on X if you can, on Rumble and BitChute. A lot of stuff is on Rumble and BitChute that you cannot get on YouTube. But please, and Bob, you bet, man. Knowledge is power. How can you make good decisions? How can one person make good decisions for themselves if they don't have enough information? Right? So how can you save others if you can't save yourself, right? This is kind of like physician, heal thyself. All right, now that you're going to, there it is. Okay. If you can help yourself, then you can start helping others. So that's why we say, wake up, help yourself, wake up, then get prepared for the absolute worst, which they're threatening us with, and then help others. Thank you, Bob, and say hello to the kitty cat for me. All right. You bet. I think Dr. Yeadon it was. You put that up there one more time, Mr. Uman, just in case. Let's see if we got it here. There it is. There's the video link on YouTube. People talking about parasites, people talking about cures for cancer, people talking about vaccines, people talking about the medical industry being corrupt, people talking about government working with the corrupt system to hurt us, right? We need to wake up, and people need to do what they can to help themselves and help others. Thank you again, Bob. I really appreciate that. Hope all is well in Scotland up there. And Mr. Uman, let's see who's next on the Prepared Mind channel on our Sunday broadcast, Sunday Night Live. And it's Big Dan with a 556 Super Chat donation. And he says, there are very few normal people here in the Seattle area. It's sad. And the woman, good God, they are fugly. Oh my goodness. I have a prejudice against Oregon. I do. I know that you're talking about Seattle, Washington, but there's something happened to Oregon and maybe Washington too. I mean, the ugly stick. I don't know what to say about this comment you've got here. Normal people. You know, I think it's liberalism. I really think it must be liberalism, because every time I see one of these purple-haired, green-haired, blue-haired, orange-haired, I'm not talking about redheads, natural. I'm talking about these people that put hair dye in their hair. I think it poisons their brain. I really do. And then they do weird shit. They pierce themselves. And they do body and gender dysphoric surgeries and drugs. Do they hate themselves? Are they being poisoned internally with these chemicals and things they do to their body and drugs? You look at them, they are physically, and folks, look, I know I'm not the most attractive guy. I know Uman and I don't win beauty contests. I get it. I realize it. But Dan used a word, fugly. Right? Right? Like beauty is only skin deep, but ugly goes to the fucking bone. It does. Right? These people, these leftists are fucking ugly people, humans. Not just their personalities, but what they do to their bodies, piercings and tattoos and the clothing and how they do. It's weird as fuck. Maybe that's why you're saying, right, there's no normal people and they're ugly as fuck in Washington, Seattle, and Portland, and the capitals, and in San Francisco and fucking Los Angeles. They're just full of these ugly Democrats. They're ugly socialists. They're just fucking ugly people. And I think it's because, well, they say they want to kill us. They hate children. They really hate Christians and Christian children. But they're not attractive. And they don't come off very intelligent. In fact, now I'm back to universities and intelligence. These libtards come out of university and they're completely changed. They are ugly to the fucking bone, ugly. And the universities are proving that they offer zero intelligent thought. All they offer is propaganda and indoctrination. And thank you, Dan the Man, for the super chat and for letting us know that, good God, the liberal women in Washington are fugly as fuck, and that there's very few normal people. I guess don't drink the tum water. And Dan, you and I know what tum water is. All right. Uman, do you know what tum water is? Do you remember? Olympia beer from Olympia, Washington. You know about Olympia? Right? It's on the West Coast. Maybe it's more of a West Coast thing. But they had Oli or Olympia beer, and it's the tum water, T-U-M. They called it tum water. That's their secret ingredient. Okay, yeah, Dan, put something in the comments on tum water. Tell us where you think it comes from. Anyways, universities offer zero intelligent thought, only propaganda, only indoctrination. Not in Washington, but in the state of Texas, a university professor is claiming, and I know we've all heard this, but even now, after all of the exposure of universities being retarded, they're claiming, quote, we're not born with a sex. It's assigned. We're assigned our gender, our sex. This is why these people run around and destroy their appearance and destroy their bodies and take drugs and fuck themselves up, because they think you can do whatever you want and there's no consequence. That you can just claim to be anything you want and all of a sudden you are. I still say go to the zoo, claim you're a tiger, assign yourself the identity of a tiger, and then jump in the pen with them and see if the tigers accept your new assigned species that you gave yourself. You see, there's reality and then there's fantasy. And I think these liberals assign themselves a belief system that has nothing to do with reality, and they're good with destroying everyone and themselves. And that is why Washington is such an ugly state. or Oregon or whatever, or liberals, and it truly is the liberals, folks. It truly is. But I think that America used to be an industrial superpower, and then all we had left after we gave all of our business away, almost, is now we export liberalism and retarded ideas, and it's now in Mexico, folks. They're protesting and rioting in Mexico. Oh, the irony of it all! Mexicans are losing their minds because Americans are leaving America to go to Mexico for cheaper living conditions. That's right. You heard me. right? Asshole Mexicans come to the United States of America for 100% free living, while Americans take what little money they have and they go to Mexico to try and live less expensively than America because of our higher taxes and having to pay for Mexicans. You get the irony here? Yeah. Does that make sense, you man? Mexicans come to America, freeload off of us, make our prices go up, our cost of living go up, our cost of housing go up, our cost of food go up, our taxes go up. So Americans take what little money they have, they go to Mexico trying to live on the cheap, and Mexicans are getting violent. They're looting, they're destroying property because Americans are making Mexico more expensive because you don't own property in Mexico, you lease it for 50 years. But they're taking up housing in Mexico. Get this, the fucking Mexicans are blaming Americans for their increase in housing costs. So 10, 20, or 30 million Mexicans, and I know there's a lot of North Africans and Muslims that came here as well, folks. I know, and Syrians and fucking Afghans and Pakistanis. I know, but we have millions and tens of millions of Mexicans and Central Americans as well. They leave their country. So let's just say 10 million Mexicans come to America and 10 million Americans go to Mexico. That's a push. NIMBYism. Yeah, not in my backyard. That's what NIMBY stands for. Not in my backyardism. The Mexicans are fine with Mexicans coming to America and fucking us up. In fact, Mexico's like, too bad. We'll. Who is winning on this, folks? Who? Who is benefiting from this? Let's not use the word win. Who benefits from this? Key bono. Government. The American government, the Mexican government, the Canadian government, the Australian government, the British, Scottish, Irish, Welsh, Dutch, French, Spanish, Portuguese, Italian, German, Austrian. Did I miss anybody? The governments all benefit by causing all of these wars, all of these fights, all of this strife, all of the illegal immigration, all of the taxation. Everything benefits the government, and they make sure their corporate buddies, their banker buddies, all benefit as well. You notice how when I say bankers and corporations, I don't talk about Democrats or Republicans. No, I don't just blame just billionaires. It's all of them that are screwing us over. Mexicans are losing their minds because Americans are taking money to Mexico and spending their money in Mexico, right? Facepalm, we're spending our money in Mexico, and they don't like it. But they're sending Mexicans into America, or they send themselves in. They work in America or just get welfare in America, send it back to Mexico to improve Mexico, proving that sending American dollars into Mexico makes Mexico better. And now Mexicans are losing their minds because it's getting more expensive there, because of inflation there, because of government taxation, interference, and fuckery, and theft, and bribery, and graft, and corruption, and taxes, and more corruption, and more taxes. They want to blame the Americans going to Mexico, who are bringing their own fucking money into Mexico. Did I say that well enough, man? Did that make any fucking sense? That's why Iran hates America, because Obama sent them, $7 fucking billion in cash? So destroy America and Israel, says Iran. Death to America! Thank you for the dollars, though, Obama. Good God, what a world. Okay, let's do some super chats. Ooh, man, who's out there? Who's got something to say? And it's Bob Hunter again. Oh, shit. Now I know who we're talking about. Bob Hunter with another 5-pound note. Says, sorry, John. Oh, you know, they don't call them 5 pounds dollars. A 5-pound bill. They call them notes over there in the UK. because the note, I would rather have a note than a bill, but I guess they're the same thing. Someone hands you a bill, you got to pay it, right? Someone hands you a note, you read it, you're like, I ain't telling nobody about this shit. Tuck it away. Anyways, a £5 note from Bob. He says, sorry, John, but Dr. Mike Yeadon is the former Pfizer employee. Pfizer, who, right? You had Pfizer files, right? Our joke. Pfizer, AstraZeneca, Johnson & Johnson, pharmaceutical company. He is a former Pfizer employee and is so important to your viewers. Thanks, John. Keep prepping, guys, especially spiritual strength. This is not a religious channel. Spirituality means your belief, your personal belief and understanding in something bigger than ourselves, right? The universe, God, if you will, and you want, and you wish. If you've got nothing to live for mentally and spiritually and psychologically, why bother? If it's all about me, who cares, right? If there's nothing more than this life, what's the point, right? And that's the eternal question. That's the big enchilada. What's the point of living if there's not something bigger than me? And so find your spiritual purpose. And in that, you'll find your strength, who you are, right? So my spiritual purpose is to be a warrior, a fighter. Marine Corps. It's always here. It's always here. I spent a short amount of time compared to the rest of my life, but it's always here. It's part of my spiritual strength. This flag, the American flag, represents liberty and freedom from fucking tyranny. That's why the flag is part of the cover for this U.S. Constitution, the Declaration of Independence. It's part of my spirituality, right? It's huge. It matters. It's what life is about. When you have children, you realize there's something bigger than ourselves. So now I'm not just living for me and my spouse. I'm living for my children and my grandchildren and the future. There's something bigger than us as individuals. Thank you so much for that, Bob. I appreciate that and for giving me a way to talk about that. But Dr. Mike Yeadon, Pfizer employee. There's so many out there exposing the lies and corruption. One of them is that they knew and understood that the Jim Jones juice, and for those who don't understand Jim Jones juice, in fact, someone made a joke out of it. Do you know what the Kool-Aid man is doing at this place where people were like laying on the ground? Jim Jones was a cult leader, much like a Democrat. When he said something, everyone believed him. All of the followers did exactly what Jim Jones said because his cult, what he promised them happiness. He promised them whatever, goodness. Jim Jones was an American. He had a cult. And he took his cult and moved it to French Guiana, which is down in South America. All the people that had the money and the resources went to French Guiana with Jim Jones. And Jim Jones literally made a huge batch of Kool-Aid and put poison in all of it. He poisoned the Kool-Aid. And he said, we're all going to heaven now. And everyone drank the Kool-Aid. That's where the term drink the Kool-Aid. Oh, you drank the Kool-Aid. You believed the bullshit. You believed the lie. You drank the Kool-Aid. Right? Everyone drank it. Those who didn't want to drink it, some of them escaped, and that's how the story got out. They were forced to drink it. And Jim Jones drank it as well, and all of his lieutenants, his bosses. They all drank the Kool-Aid and died. Jim Jones and his cult were the cult of death for our modern times to understand. The Heaven's Gate cult, same story. Little less famous. At the time, they were very famous, but Jim Jones, that's why it's the Jim Jones juice. It's the Kool-Aid. It's the cult of death. These people are drinking the Kool-Aid. The Democrats, the Muslims are the cult of death. They want death for themselves. They want death for everyone else. And they're willing to kill themselves to get it. And they want to take as many of us with them as they can. Can you imagine being convinced to kill yourself and that you're promised heaven for doing it? Just like Muslims believe that if you martyr yourself, you kill yourself and other people at the same time, that you're going to get 72 virgins when you get to heaven. Can you fucking believe that one? I don't, but they do, right? Their God is so good that he wants you to murder other people in his name, and he's going to reward you when you get to heaven. Who the hell would believe that? They do. The Democrats believe that if they kill everyone, they're going to be happy and good and rewarded. They're the most miserable people you've ever seen. Miserable. Full of hatred. Look at the Democrats. Look what they call for. I believe that they're willing to kill themselves. In fact, they're willing to kill everybody, and they're calling for the death of President Trump as well. Of course. Oh, by the way, not one, not two, not three, but 11. I don't even have that many fingers and digits on my hands. I can't bit my foot up there. I'm not that flexible. 11 planes, aircraft, have been intercepted by fighter jets over Trump's golf club at Bedminster over this weekend. Just this weekend alone, 11 different aircraft. Now, they have temporary no-fly zones. This is where the president's at. You're not allowed to fly within so many miles. Like you can't fly over Washington, D.C. without special permission, right? You're going to land in, what's the fucking name of the airport there? I flew in there once. Good golly. It doesn't matter. You're not allowed to fly over Washington, D.C. It's a protected airspace. Anywhere the president's at, you're not allowed to fly over it within so many miles. And every airplane pilot gets that notification. You get briefed on it. You can't go there. So, because 11 different aircraft flew over it and have been intercepted and told, get the fuck out, it indicates that either airplane pilots have become retarded just in the last few days, or the president's safe boundaries are being tested to see if different aircraft can penetrate the safe airspace. And possibly, if they can, crash a plane loaded with explosives into the president's abode. And I got to tell you what, folks, when, and I mean how soon before Trump, this is my question, how soon? When will he? How soon will Trump realize we're in a civil war? We're in a partisan war. And he is the primary target that they need to take out. Trump isn't safe. Look, Trump could become a full-fledged anti-American, unconstitutional, anti-democratic Democrat. Right? He could do everything they want. Everything. He could do everything the Democrats want. And they still would hate him and have Trump derangement syndrome and want to kill him. He is their primary hatred. It's unfucking believable. Ooh, man, let's do some questions. Do we got a super chat out there? What do we have? Who's next? And it's Boomer. He's back with a hat trick on Sunday Night Live. That means three times we've seen Boomer here. He says, companion robots are now on the threshold of becoming a household item and not just for house chores. Interesting topic. Not just Roombas that vacuum, not just microwaves and Jiffy Pop and freezers. Companion robots. He says they'll be affordable for just renting at first and then gradually become affordable for purchase. Boomer, are we talking, when you say companion robots like Siri Or Alexa are a type of companion robot that if you talk to them, they perform tasks. And those robots just do electronics, like radio stations, turn the air conditioner up and down, play my music, put on my movie, warm up my dinner. Or are we talking about companion robots like sex bots? Like I saw a video of one of Elon Musk's robots. Not the dogs, but a walking bipedal robot. And they look all cute and innocent and stuff and silly. But it was out on the street, walking up and down the street. And it was kind of crazy. It was it looked like it was in a ghetto area. I'm surprised that someone didn't go up and bash it with a bat or throw it in the back of their truck and kidnap it. Someone, of course, was taking pictures. The video I saw was taken by a private person. They were laughing their ass off because these kids, they were interested in it and other adults interacting with it. Yeah, these robots, they're gonna try and replace us. We're being replaced, folks. But they can't just replace me and you. It doesn't matter if you're white or black or Asian or brown or whatever fucking color you are. I don't care. As long as you're intelligent, they need to replace you and me. They need us out of the fucking picture. It's a fact. They need us out of the picture. So first they have to kill all of us, replace us. So they want us to sterilize ourselves, either doing it by being a trans idiot or taking the Jim Jones juice, which has a massive reproductive penalty that goes with it. Not to mention all the other health problems or just instant fucking death. You got instant death, slow death, clots, cancer, strokes, brain damage, sterility. Once they get rid of us, they only need to keep enough of us alive to do their work for them. But these robots, yeah, they're dangerous as fuck. Oh yeah, it's fun. It's not renting a used one of those, says Uman. Well, yeah, don't rent a sex bot. They've already had that. That was years ago. They had brothels that were opening up around the world, folks. Not here in the United States of America, but maybe in the U.S. That's kind of disgusting. But anyways, brothels with these lifelike mannequins, sex dolls. Not renting a used one of those. Yeah, they're gonna be walking soon enough. For people who can't find someone to get along with. And I got to tell you, folks, it is hard to get along with other humans these days, in case you haven't noticed. Right? It's a weird-ass world, but that's an interesting topic. But it has its own SHTF implications, and thank you very much for the topic. It does. They are using every known technique to divide humans, whether it's gender or race or religion or age or wealth or where you're born, your accent, whatever they can to make us hate each other. They, meaning the powers that be, have done enough psychological research that we're now part of a giant petri dish of test subjects. Look at, for example, feminism. Feminism. It's evil. It has told women that you don't need a man. Men know we need women. We know. Just more fun with women, I got to tell you, in the bedroom. But anyways, you don't need a man. So yeah, they invented all kinds of sex toys, services. Women have gotten jobs. But now what do we have? Liberal women hate men, hate themselves, hate everybody. They're destroying themselves, and they're proving it every day. They're unhappy. These are the so-called cat ladies and wine ladies out there. But it's hard to get along with others. It ain't easy, but they're making it even more difficult. And so, yeah, the birth rate is plummeted, right? Meanwhile, they bring in to replace us with violence these wackadoo Muslims. And now they're instigating and fomenting race wars, gender wars, political wars, religious wars. And they're going to replace us. They're just going to need just enough humans. What is it? No more than 500 million worldwide. That was the Georgia Guidestones. But they didn't want, too many people were becoming aware of the Georgia Guidestones, which said that in order for the human race to survive, we need to kill the human race. Take us from 8 billion down to no more than 500 million. So there just needs to be just enough humans to make sure the robots are working so the robots can do most of the work, right? Because robots don't argue. They'll clean your house. What? Jiminy crickets. What a world. Folks, shit has hit the fan. Independence Day has shown us we are no longer independent from those who would claim they own us. From our wealth, to our health, to our weather, to wars. I just made all that shit up. Sounds like I had that scripted, but I didn't. It is. They're after our wealth, our health, our weather, and wars. That's what they want to destroy us with, folks. The information is out there, and you, my friends, have helped me share it. This is probably the best crowd we've had in months. And thousands of people will watch this video and learn something and wake the fuck up, hopefully. And I want to thank you guys for making it happen. Without you, the show doesn't happen. With you, people wake up, and trust me, the elite don't like it. They don't like being exposed. And we're going to have one hell of a fight coming up, folks. Please get prepared. Wake yourself up. Get prepared. Wake up others. You need food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, means of self-defense, and your plan to deal with whatever the fuck is coming. Those people were attacked by a flood. A flood. Attacked by water, weather. They weren't prepared for it. It's terrible. It's a tragedy. They weren't prepared for it. They weren't warned. Those people were given no warning, were they? They were given no warning. I am giving you, and you are giving me, and we're all giving each other and everyone else we know out in the world. We're giving them fair warning. Get prepared. Mr. Uman, what do we got going? We got an update. Bump, ba-da-dump, bump. Uman says, as I said last week, the reduced violence, which Chicago Mayor BJ was bragging about. In Chicago, we'll close the gap this week. And so far, 50 shot and 6 killed. For a month to date of over 80 people have been shot. It's only the 6th of July, and 80 people have been shot. That's over 13 a day have been shot in Chicago, and he said that they've reduced the violence. Boy, I don't think so. Well, thank you, Chicago. Thank you for showing us that socialism doesn't work. That's right, folks. Socialism. That's what Chicago is operating under with Mayor BJ the communist. That's right. That's right. Here we go. Remember we were talking about university and how they're creating propaganda and brainwashed idiots? An anti-white legislation has been proposed in California, and it's tapping university system for verifying student reparations. They want reparations for slavery. So for people who never had slaves, in fact, out of the white population, 3%, I believe, only had slaves, and that most of them were Jewish, believe it or not. And I think the first slave owner was actually black in America, or one of the first, if not the first, owner of slaves. Black slaves in America was slaves. Unbelievable what's going on, folks. Unbelievable. The death toll in Texas is confirmed at 79 so far, and 11 people from Camp Mystic are still missing. Joy Reid is the almost bald black bitch who has dyed her hair my color, which I say is appropriating a white man's colored hair. She suggests that Democrats should get rid of Melania Trump, deport her. It's funny, they fight and scream and yell for everyone else to stay here, but they want to kick Melania Trump out. They want to denaturalize her. So by saying they want to denaturalize her, they're admitting that she was legitimately migrated here. But all of those who are here illegally, they want to keep. But somebody who actually denaturalized and is not a communist and is not a criminal, hasn't committed fraud, they want to get rid of. But Ma'am Danny, the radical Muslim, which means hate America, hate people, communist, which means hate America, hate people, they want to keep him, even though he's committed fraud. So not only is he a communist and a hate-filled Muslim who wants to get rid of police and increase crime, steal white people's property, he's also a fucking racist. He can stay, but get rid of Melania Trump. That is the enemy in a nutshell, folks. Chance favors the prepared mind. Tomorrow, 0 dark 30. We'll see what happens between now and then, folks. Crazy world. It is a very scary and crazy world. Please wake up, protect yourselves, help others protect themselves by getting prepared. God bless you all. Semper Fi, and chance favors the prepared mind is yours.